them. And I already have 2 people fired because of that.
That's insane.
Tell me this is not conspiracy. This is communism happening right here, right now.
This is the craziest, creepiest news clip I think I've ever heard. It looks fake, but it's actually 9 News Sydney. Take a look.
It's those doing the wrong thing driving our record case numbers. Among the most concerning cases, a COVID patient who's tonight on the run from a hotspot. Police and health authorities have issued an urgent appeal.
Anthony Karam knows he is COVID positive when he steps into this public lift. Already breaking so many rules, he doesn't bother to cover his mouth as he sneezes and splutters. The 27-year-old is still infectious but has gone missing from his Wentworth Point apartment. A warrant now issued for his arrest.
This 27-year-old chap, who apparently has expressed the view that he doesn't care less whether he spreads the virus, is one example of the worst of the worst.
There's little sympathy for anyone ignoring the health orders, even this group of teenagers caught partying after dark at the bottom of the North Bondi Cliffs. Herded to higher ground by Polaire's spotlight and speaker, the 8 boys were placed in handcuffs and left to explain a $1,000 fine to mum.
681 penalty infringement notices issued in the last 24 hours. More than 400 of those notices were again for people being outside of their home without a reasonable excuse.
Sideline Sharks player Josh Dugan denies lying to police when he was found a long way from Sydney. The 31-year-old stopped at 11:30 last night in Lithgow, where he allegedly told officers he was moving to the area and feeding animals before admitting to visiting a friend. He and a passenger turned back to Sydney, only to be pulled over a second time, travelling in the wrong direction. The NRL is investigating and criminal charges could be laid. It's getting harder and harder to hide if you're doing the wrong thing, especially in the construction industry, a crackdown following on from the recent shutdown. Workers sent home if their paperwork isn't in check.
It is a struggle, but it's it's just what has to be done. Like, nobody likes telling people to go home. They've all got families to feed.
Our cameras rolling on another random blitz in Marsden Park.
Authorising me under the Public Health Act.
Inspectors have asked these tradesmen to show proof of their QR check-in as well as identification and vaccination records. One of the men here is from Campsie and he doesn't have his documentation, so he's being sent home. He may lose a chunk of his pay too if officers follow through with a fine. Tiffany Genders, 9 News.
How bizarre was that? It was like, well, this degenerate guy is coughing, so now we're arresting teenagers and making construction workers scan QR codes and arresting professional sports players for going somewhere we didn't want them to go. I mean, of course, that guy coughing everywhere was disgusting. Something's not adding up. Let's talk to some Australians.
And we're seeing crazy things like yesterday, mothers being arrested outside of a cafe because they didn't want to hand over their names and addresses. Basically, under our current lockdown regime here, we're allowed 2 hours of exercise a day. We're only allowed 5 kilometers away from our home. You have to be wearing a mask everywhere you go. And essentially, a lot of things are shut. Really only supermarkets, and there's takeaway for cafes and food. But they even talked about possibly getting rid of takeaways and cafes over the weekend. There's lots of rumors coming out from our government being leaked into the media that they were going to actually take away.
I want to come more from a different approach. You know, I'm a pastor in Sydney. And what's happening, man, is insane. Like the hardest thing for me, and I'm bringing the people element because we're going with stats, but the stories of people are so heartbreaking. Like, pretty much, we had so many new people come to church at the beginning of the year. Like, you can imagine people stopping drugs, stopping getting drunk. Yet the moment lockdowns happen, they fail straight away. The mental health, they've been locked up in home for days and days, now, 10 weeks so far, and they're going back to their old habits. After they finally overcame all this addiction, they're back to square one. And I'm like, where is the government with mental health, with emotions, with connections and with spirituality. And these people have done so much to overcome. And now they're back to square minus 300.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I just did a video today where I had data from San Francisco. I'm going to pop it up on the screen right now when I edit the video. And the amount of overdoses from drugs was far superior on December 2020, from March 2020 to December 2020, far superior than COVID deaths in San Francisco. Like, not even close. It was like 100 something to 600 something. And these people don't care. That's why I
they don't care.
Like, have you lost your mind? Have you lost your soul? Like, this collateral damage is far worse than so many elements. And they're just trying to act like, the craziest part is like, it's not even a thing and you're a bad person for talking about it. It's crazy.
They don't care, and that's the thing. Anomaly is that this is simply atheism in action. They literally think you're a bag of blood, and I'm like, you're not just a bag of viruses. You're actually a person. You know, Anomaly. I've had so many people in my church get fired. People have been working for the last 10 years, and now they're being forced to take a vaccine. Can you imagine? You know, one of my congregation, they said to me, when they were saying, they said to me, they made me feel like I'm a dirty person for not taking the vaccine. Like, he said, I feel like I'm a virus.
When the mask thing was going on, you know, one of the, like, you can't see someone smile, you can't see someone's face. Like, you go out, you say hi to the barista, they took away humanity. Like, you know, they treated you like you were sick when you weren't. And they just treated everybody like crap. On planes now, they're screaming at everyone. Like, everyone's treating everybody like crap. And that's like an element mentally and just like personally that is way underreported. Thanks for bringing it up. Keep going.
It's crazy, man. Like, bro, the stories, like, another thing I'm facing as well. So we have a bit of a hate group to our church. And what's happening now, Anomaly, is that a few of my people posted saying, wearing a mask, if you don't wear a mask, this doesn't mean you're not becoming more like Jesus. You know, the work churches, they're going with be like Jesus and wear a mask, love like Jesus to take the vaccine. So my people, bro, this is so massive. My sister-in-law posted saying, you not taking a vaccine, it's not you being hateful. So next minute, you find all the people in our area, because the government created it's two types of people that listen to the media and people that don't. So the moment, Anomaly, you post anything against the government, the whole area goes against you. They reposted my sister's-in-law workplace, and then her workplace receives hundreds of calls telling them to get fired.
We are being bullied. Stories of like communism, how like people just gang up and, you know, like just try to destroy the lives of someone that's not playing along to their little sick game.
So now, Anomaly, they're taking photos of people in our church and posting it, and then going to the workplace and intimidating the boss to fire them. And I already have 2 people fired because of that.
That's insane.
Tell me this is not conspiracy. This is communism happening right here, right now.
It's creepy. And it's sad people are that wicked and that just like insane. People are losing their minds. Luckily here we have a little diversity in where people live and what they're doing. But Canada, I know Australia, I'm going to cover New Zealand soon. It seems like the people are way more hive mind and way more like, I got a lot of comments from Canada today from like people that were like, shut up, you're not. And I don't mind it, but I was like, oh, wow, I could see how they would do that if you lived there and just swarm at you. Thank you for sharing the story.
Dude, and quickly before I go, I want to tell you, so I'm a refugee. I came here from Egypt in 2017 because my dad is a pastor, and they pretty much wanted to kill us. So, dude, what is happening now, it's like an Islamic country on steroids. We used to have the cops, and by the way, Anomaly, the cops that arrested Christian, it was called public health and safety cops, literally. So their goal was to go to houses, they used to come to our house and take away any information that doesn't agree with Islam and doesn't agree with the public narrative. And if you're found with any information, you and your family get arrested. So what I'm seeing now, it's literally what I escaped from.
Mm.
It,
Yeah, keep going.
I'm saying to people, this is not conspiracy. This is totalitarian government. I have escaped from it. The idea that information cannot be shared, like I grew up with random visits from the cops coming and searching our house for information that they don't agree with. And I'm watching around, I'm like, it's not conspiracy. I'm like, people from China are telling you this is communism. I am from a different country, I'm telling you, this is totalitarian government. But people still don't listen. I'm like, it's not conspiracy. It's not conspiracy. What's happening is not conspiracy. The reason Christians got arrested in my country, it was under the public safety order. So the idea is, because you speak certain ideas, you create unrest, so they are not safe. So we need to get rid of you for the safety of the community. Safety is the dictatorial pathway to create communism. You know, Anomaly, every day the cops come to our church and looks at people, because all the people in the area that don't like our church, they just call the cops. It's that simple. They come and ask for my name. Like, where's Andrew Cedra? And I'm like, what the heck is happening? This is Egypt. It's where I came from. So yeah, I thought to let people know, please listen, it's not conspiracy. I wish it was conspiracy.
Appreciate you. That's super, super powerful. And I don't know where these people that are playing along, I hope enough people come to their senses, because I like to think there's that radical minority that calls the cops on you all the time, and they have hundreds of people. But then there's a lot of people who just kind of stay quiet and follow along because they have to. I'm trying to let people know, if you allow, it's not just, if you want to get this, that's fine. There's 20,000 medications approved by approved by the FDA. I don't take them all, but I don't judge who takes what. But if you say you can lock down because of this, or you can put 2 of these and then a booster and then a booster, you're pretty much signing a contract, whether you know it or not, to be a cattle for the rest of your life with whatever they want to put in you and do whatever they want. It's the complete a loss of your constitution, loss of your personal liberty, loss of everything that you once loved about this country, whether it's America or Australia. So that's the question people got to ask themselves, because people are coming to me and I don't give medical advice, but they say, what should I do? Should I do it for work? And I'm like, I can't relate to that right now because of my job. But me personally, I'm not thinking about this like, should I do this to travel? I'm thinking about, do I want to sign a contract for the rest of my life to allow the government or the corporate class to do whatever they want to me whenever they want, and I'm going to allow it, because that's where this leads. Thank you so much. Let me know.